What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Los, but I think they lost their mind podcast. I got my guy with me.
Lou, baby.
Man, listen. How you feeling, champ?
Episode 13.
Episode 13,
Part 2.
part 2. That's special number 13.
13,
You know what I
baby.
mean? Before we get into that, though, we got to bring up the hot topics of the day.
What's the hot topic of the day? Kim, what you got for us?
Man, I want to kind of speak on, do you feel like LeBron James is still a face of the NBA?
All right, cool. Real quick, though. What is define the face of the how you define that?
Well, is he still relevant? That's what I must say.
Absolutely.
I want to say is when you speak about the NBA, is LeBron still relevant? Whether
Yeah.
it's stats or anything, where you mentioning his name
Yeah.
still within the NBA, regardless of him not winning, being 4-6 as far as the finals, championships, MVPs. Is LeBron James still a face of the NBA, and is he still relevant?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think his name hold weight.
Yeah.
For sure, pause.
Yeah.
I think LeBron James' name, I'm not saying they on the same pedestal. It's up there like almost Jordan, bro. It holds weight.
Why would you? I like that. Why wouldn't you say they not on the same pedestal?
Because if you put them on the same, that means you're comparing them to. I'm not comparing them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because LeBron's shoes don't feel like Jordan shoes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, besides the shoes, Jordan is still relevant in the NBA.
To this day.
He's still relevant.
Yo.
I wouldn't
he
say
ain't playing years.
He's still so the thing about it, if we could take LeBron away from this conversation to say he's still relevant, of course. But as far as the face, if you take LeBron out of this and saying he's no longer the face of the NBA, who would you now sit and put in place?
Hold, before you say that though, let me say this though. I think LeBron's only the face now because them other cats don't want it. Shea don't want it. Ant-Man don't want it. Of course, Ja definitely don't want it. I don't think they want it, bro. I think they cool with how they moving.
See, I think I'm gonna be honest. I think LeBron just means so much more to the game.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm talking about his what he put on the game, his stamp on the game, just like Jordan's stamp would never be able to be washed away. It's one of those type things where these guys that came in to play basketball,
right,
win championships, but I think LeBron value is always there. He want to win, play basketball, but he did so much outside of just the NBA, and he was so impactful to the game. He was that. Everybody listen to what LeBron says. He was that voice to the game. He's that voice to the game.
Right.
So I think that's what make him still a face, because he's still impactful. Things still don't move without LeBron James. Even when he was at the playoff game, when I attended the playoff game.
Right.
Hey, yo, family, regardless of we were in LA, but everybody still admire LeBron James.
Well,
everybody still will go to the Wizards game. Any game, regardless if they fuck with the team, they fuck with LeBron James.
But you gotta understand too, though. We also talking about a legend.
A legend,
so,
yeah.
In the still, I think a lot of ways, bro, the media don't let you not forget about LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? And adding his son into the league, put them into a whole another stratosphere. You know what I mean? So I think like the media plays a huge role.
So my last question: who do you think LeBron leave? He got, they say he do another year, but decide to leave. Who would you put in place as the face, the new face of the NBA? Who's that impactful to where that, who could you name?
Ant-Man if you want it. But he gotta clean up his act. He gotta clean up his personal life.
Yeah.
Ant-Man if he wanted.
That's why I say I don't think so. I think Ant-Man already
Ja Morant if he wanted it. But he got clean up his personal life.
See two guys that I really respect their game and everything, but those are two guys that has already made a negative impact.
Nah, AI did the same thing. You can come back.
Listen, AI did the same thing, but AI was never in the talks of being the face of the NBA.
He couldn't.
It
was too much star power.
But my point exactly. So what I'm saying is those guys already made that negative impact on the NBA.
Okay.
And I just don't think that someone put them as the face because of the negative impact they have made. Which nothing against Ant-Man. It just, that stuff with the child and the whole nine still kind of that's a touchy subject.
Let me ask you this though. Was Kobe ever the face of the NBA? And if he was, when?
I think Kobe was the face of the NBA.
Okay, when?
LeBron came in the league 2003.
Oh, three. Okay.
oh 03. So I would say
You know,
that
Shaq was still in the
small.
league too, though.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
Shaq was a bit, but I would say nine. I would say 99 to 2002.
Mm,
I would
I
say
don't
that.
know, champ.
I would say that.
Tim Duncan was still there too.
Tim Duncan was still there, but
KG was still there.
KG was still
AI was
there.
still there.
AI was still there, but never.
Tracy McGrady was still there.
Tracy McGrady still there, but never.
Vince was still there.
Yeah, but these are guys that never was that impactful to say that they was the face of the NBA.
So
Would
you,
you say Magic was once the face of the NBA?
absolutely,
Would you say Larry Bird was once the face of the NBA?
absolutely.
So this is
But you got to remember though too though. Yeah, I mean there was a moment where the Boston, where with Larry Bird, they was killing shit.
absolutely. So
Absolutely.
again, now if we take LeBron out of this conversation, who would you now say? Who would you put as the upcoming face of the NBA?
I don't
Because
know.
I'm gonna tell you who it could have been, but I think he's another one that done had some stuff going on.
Kyrie.
Nope.
Oh,
Who big boy that came from that played of Duke.
Dude.
He
Oh,
played for New
Zion.
Orleans. Zion.
Zion.
Zion could have potentially been the
Nah, yo,
face of
nah,
the NBA. But
nah.
now we talking. Who's the
It,
face of the NBA?
like that, nobody.
Nobody.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Nobody.
You
Nobody.
could say
Nobody stick out
SGA
to you.
could be, but I don't think he doesn't give you enough.
I'm gonna tell you who give me enough.
Oh,
But I think he's not gonna be the face because I still feel like he's still in a LeBron slash he like in the middle. He's not as new as Shea. Donovan Mitchell would
Donovan
Donovan
Mitchell?
Mitchell would have been
Nah.
a good impact because I like a lot of positive things
Hey,
about
yo, but
him.
you gotta
But
understand too
as
though.
far as somebody being
They have to.
critical,
But hold, listen though. In order for them to be in the face, they got to be in the big market.
yeah, they got to be in a big market.
You
Yeah,
gotta be in the big market, bro. You can't be other than LeBron could do it because he's been the. I think LeBron has been almost the face of the league since he came in.
hey yo, as much as I don't want to say, but I feel like Joker.
No, they would never have a
Yeah, because
European player.
he's
They
European,
would
but
never have a
I'm just saying
European player to
that's
face
the
the league,
closest I
bro.
can get because right now don't nobody stick out to
Bro,
me.
Dirk has never been the face of the league.
I know, but I'm just
I'm
saying
just
no one
saying.
sticks out to me.
Nah. I mean, like I said, I would give it
No
to
one.
Luca before I give it to
Yeah,
Joker.
no one sticks out to me though.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
listen,
Go
tell
ahead.
me what y'all
Oh,
think.
I mean, whoa. It could be Tatum and them guys too. You forgot about them guys.
Yeah. It could be Tatum, but yo, sometimes I feel like Tatum is still in that where Donovan Mitchell is. Like
He's not
it's like
LeBron era. It's
a
not LeBron.
little
No,
bit of LeBron
it's not
era.
a
I
LeBron
don't
era,
think
bro.
he's in a new era though.
He is in New York. He's still young.
You think so?
He's in his
Okay,
20s.
okay. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Let's look it up.
I like Tatum. I like
Yeah,
Tatum.
Jason Tatum's
I
doing
like Tatum. I
good.
like Tatum.
You
I
know what
like
I'm
Tatum.
saying?
But I don't
Could
know if he.
Halliburton be the face of the league?
Who?
Halliburton.
I think he
They got
could
star
take it.
power.
I think he could
They got
take it.
star
I think
power.
he could take it.
Go on, listen.
If
Go
he
ahead.
stay clean, yeah. All right, so what's next on the hot topic, chat?
Man, I wanted to touch on, man. I heard something that came to create. I'm still gonna look that up though.
Yeah.
Man, I heard, I seen something over there about B Simone.
Okay.
And B Simone was talking about how she's in a difficult financial situation right now, right? And I guess she's in there, she's investing to whatever she's investing into. And I think she said she don't have a lot of liquid, she got a lot of assets. And I think she said, man, she got to the point when she went to Bloomingdale's and her finances was so, I guess, so tight that she had to go to H&M or Zara's. And she felt the shame about that. She did a whole podcast about that. About I pretty much downgrading H&M and Zara's like that's beneath what she used to, which is probably is. She probably used to buying Balenciagas and blase. But my thing was with that situation was, bro, when did we become so far-fetched that we can't shop at Target or Walmart, H&M or Zara's for a shirt or something like that? When did we become so superficial when those things are beneath us,
Social media.
bro?
Social media. I mean, that's
Would
all
you
I
shop at Zara's?
absolutely. I shop at Zara. I shop at Target.
Yeah,
I
bro.
shop at wherever.
Well, no, you shop at Target.
Yeah,
Well, we boycotting Target,
I
too.
have shopped at
Oh,
Target.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So yes,
okay.
I have shopped at those places.
Yeah.
Just because there's certain things, whether it's name brand or not, certain things that I like that those places have.
I think that once a person truly know who they are, what they identify who they are, nothing else or things can ever make you feel that you're not who you are, right? So you can be. We said all the time, man. Billionaires wearing Skechers, driving raggedy ass car. I know that Warren Buffett still drive an old Cadillac
Hmm.
from back in the day. He still live in his first house. That's probably maybe $1 million. He's a billionaire. I think that's the difference is not being defined by things versus being defined by who you are as a
Okay,
person.
so
Go ahead.
you just mentioned him, but he's Caucasian, and I don't think it's too many Caucasians that really give a shit for what they wearing. Let's speak about someone that's African American. That I think it's several of them, but I'm just saying.
I don't know who.
What that
What
that
you
their
just
fashion don't matter.
yeah. You just said it was several of them. Who was that? Bro, if you gotta take that long to think about it, you don't know who it
Yeah, yeah. I'm
is.
just I'm just sitting
You
here
was
thinking.
capping.
I wasn't capping, but I'm just saying you comparing that I think is a little different than our culture.
But why is it different? It shouldn't have to be. That's the problem, though. It shouldn't be different. We shouldn't be defined by what we have or
Mo-
what people think that we have.
Most of us,
Yeah, bro. That's why we put ourselves always behind the 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? Because we were defined by our clothing. Because you can have a person who got all that shit on, he got it on, but he ain't put the shit on together. He may got all Gucci and Louis all the way down.
shit look trash.
Shit trash, bro. And you
Yeah,
got a nigga who shop at motherfucking Zara
but the thing
who
about it,
killed it.
regardless
Fashion's
of
not about price.
the statement that you made as far as them looking trash, you gonna look at them though.
Who?
You gonna look at them.
Yeah, you can look at him and say you look
I
stupid.
remember seeing a Caucasian male, a white man at when me and my brother was traveling to London, and he was Gucci down. I think he had a whole Gucci suit on, and he looked like a clown.
Exactly.
But he caught the attention of a lot of people.
Yeah, but
So maybe that's the case.
I
But
remember you told me a story. I don't know what he had on though. I think you was at the Ravens game, right? You was like, y'all was sitting in front of a guy and shit. Older guy. I think he was the older guy. Bro, he just started moving his hand, moving his wrist. I don't know what he had on, but he had a rolling on that caught your attention. He could have had on some regular shit he had on, right? But that's not what caught your attention. The watch was, which had more value than what he had on.
it's funny you say that about the watch. I was talking to one of my guys. Shout out to Craig. Um, and Brick and Quill Realty. Shout out to them.
Shout out to
They
my
ain't
guy,
sponsoring
man.
us yet, but we'll get there. But
For sure.
shout out to them for your real estate needs. But I'm gonna say this: he was at the Big Three this past weekend,
Okay.
and he mentioned that a guy basically asked him, inquired about his he called it like he called it something like watch game or watch time or something like that.
Yeah.
He said to Craig, and Craig said he looked at him like, what you mean? He was like, basically, you need to get a Rolly.
Uh,
And so Craig didn't understand it, but I guess the guy was basically saying like, that's a conversation starter.
it is.
It is.
It is.
Because I'm gonna tell you, when
It
I was
is.
in Greece, it was a female that was in a pool that kept on looking at my Rolex.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at her like, why? I'm looking like, what the
Yeah.
fuck she looking at me
Yeah.
for? She keep on looking, she keep on
Yeah.
looking. And sure enough, she said, I'm sorry for keep on looking at you, but I'm just admiring the Rolex you have on your
Yeah.
wrist.
Yeah.
We kind of find out talking to her, she actually worked for a Rolex dealer. And so she actually, the Radcliffe that I got the Rolex from, she actually came and bought them the Rolexes, and shared, they do little conventions and everything. So it was just a big deal. So it's a conversation starter
Yeah.
when you wear shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got that Rolex on.
Yeah.
It's a conversation
Two
starter.
things. I'm definitely happy your shit was real.
Yeah, I'm happy my shit was real. But she would have pointed it out.
Yo.
She knew which one I had on,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
She knew everything
Yeah.
about it. And so
Yeah.
we sat there and spoke for an hour. Her husband looking at her like, you know what I mean? Because he hear it all
White
the
guy,
time.
white or black?
White.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and they was real nice people, but
Yeah.
she spoke highly. We talked everything about Rolex because I was just thinking of what Rolex to get. I
Yeah.
just left the Radcliffe just now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had some Rollies that, looking nice.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But then
yeah.
another thing is too, they said that you can tell how important time is to a person.
Mhm.
by what they have on that wrist sometimes.
Yep.
Because that obviously they spent quality on a watch piece. Because regardless of anything, Rolexes are not cheap.
Yeah.
Obviously, that person had something or did something to inquire that.
Absolutely.
And however they got it, I want to know how they got it.
Well, and it's crazy because I think what Craig mentioned too was like sometimes like Billboard Worldwide. I just did some bulletins. Check me out.
For sure.
I'm down on Pratt Street by Horseshoe Casino and off of 83 South.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm sharing, Cameo and everything. But the guy even said some people won't even do business with you if they don't see certain things like that because they got to see how legit you are.
For sure.
So I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, that picture that I posted was me with the rollie on.
For sure.
Because again, I get it. Like it's just like a grant that we apply for.
Yeah.
They want to know that you have. They want to know that you're a quality person.
Yeah.
It's certain things like if I see somebody with a Rolex on or something like, I'm gonna know they have something.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They have something to lose.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going to be more inclined to want to deal with them versus somebody that's walking around, without a watch on.
But we gotta be careful with that too, though, because sometimes the person without a watch on could be somebody that.
No,
I ain't saying you.
I'm definitely not saying this to judge a book by its cover.
For sure.
But I'm just saying that a lot of companies will look and say, okay, he got the Rolex on, so he's either, some type of importance.
Yeah. But I was reading something, man. He was saying that's why sometimes people may buy an expensive car to start a conversation. You feel what I'm saying? Because you think about it, Rolls Royce, right? You'll never ever see an advertisement for them. Never. So if a person got one, they got one because obviously there's a reason how they got it, right? Because you didn't see a commercial. They only advertise Rolls Royces when they're selling planes. Because obviously there's people that can afford it. So it makes sense why people invest in certain things to start conversation.
Yeah, it's a conversation starter.
Even now, even with the Cybertruck, it's a conversation starter.
Yeah, it's a conversation.
It's going to get your attention. Depends on where you're driving in that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Give a quick shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by LL13 Fitness and Heartbeat Security. Two powerhouses moving with purpose. LL13 Fitness is where dedication meets results. Mind right, body tight, and remember, we got work to do. And Heartbeat Security, they are not just watching doors, they are protecting dreams. Real presence, real protection. Trust a brand that do more than this talk. They deliver. The Instagram page for LL13 Fitness is at LL13 Fitness. The website, LL13fitness.com. The telephone number, 443-676-5882. And Heartbeat Security. Instagram, at Heartbeat Security. Email address, HRTBTSCRT@gmail.com. For one more time, HRTBTSCRT@gmail.com. And the telephone number is 443-676-5882. Let's get right back to the pod.
But let's get to the topic of the day. What we got, man? What we got, Chad?
Hey, listen, we doing part 2 as far as trauma, tragedy. You know what I'm saying? And second chance, I would say.
Second chance.
So just a little bit about this one, which makes it this episode 13. Episode 13. But what makes it, you brought it to my attention that we're doing this on episode 13, and this was just brought up on us.
It wasn't even planned.
It wasn't even planned
for sure.
But the fact that 13 is your magic number.
It is.
Hello, 13.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You love the number 13.
Yeah, it's symbolic for a lot of things.
Let's talk about it.
What, with the number 13?
Yeah, what it means to you before we go in.
13 is a crucial number because for a couple of things. If you add my birthday, which is 8/5, it equals 13. My anniversary is on 9/13. Me and my wife, our age gap, we 13 years apart. That's important.
I like that.
Yeah, that's important. So that's how, even what the LL13 really means, Lewis Love 13. You know what I'm saying? My last name is Lewis Love, and the number 13. So that's why 13 is so important.
That's dope.
So when we planned out the podcast, we never knew they would fall like that.
And it just fell.
It just felt like that. So obviously it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why 13 is so important. You know what I mean? So,
and it's crazy because just to piggyback on, 12 is not my actual number, but just to piggyback on 12, 2012 is when the incident happened.
Damn, bro.
I didn't even know that. I just thought about it just now. 2012 is when the incident happened, and you see
Yeah.
how that was
Yo, God be
episode
good, bro. You see
12.
how, damn, bro.
It dropped on episode 12.
You just thought about that?
I just thought about it.
Damn.
So listen, just you know what I mean.
That's how you know shit be
Should be it is a reason
it's
for
meant to
certain
happen,
things.
yo.
Yeah,
Shit
it's meant
meant
to
to
happen.
happen. But
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Okay, cool. Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's get to
Okay.
it. So
Yeah.
I mean, because I want to talk about two things.
Let's get to it.
And you on it with me?
Cool,
All right, cool. So we're gonna talk about the first incident.
What's that?
The first incident when you encounter a traumatic experience
Okay.
on a job.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
Cool. Okay.
And I'm pointing this out because to certain people, and we ain't just talking law enforcement guys, to certain people, sometimes you just witnessing something
Right.
could also be your traumatic experience.
For sure.
So I want you to speak on it.
Yeah. I speak on that. And
Yeah.
yo, a traumatic experience doesn't have to be something significant, as long as it's traumatic to you.
It's traumatic to you.
Whatever that may be.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So you talking about the shooting situation?
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this because I got the phone call.
Yeah. So this is I don't know what year it was. I can't remember. But what happened was, this is one day we on a job. This is when I was in the Western District. Now, if anybody know what the Western District is, shit was crazy. It's like the Wild Wild West.
Wild West.
That's what you call it, Wild Wild West. And then we had a bunch of new officers in the district, bro. I think I was the most senior person in my squad.
Hey, you was acting that day.
No. So listen. So before that though, that wasn't planned though. That was not planned. And this is the first time I met her as Deline Johnson. She got promoted to sergeant. She was new, bro. And for some particular reason, she came to me, I think at the roll call, and she was like, "I'm gonna make you my OIC." And OIC at the time means officer in charge for the day. You're like acting sergeant.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right? And I was like, it's my first time. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
Oh, she was acting 09. She was 09.
She was acting SIC.
Yeah, SIC.
Sergeant in charge,
Sergeant in charge, yeah.
And I was just like, okay, cool. All right, cool. Didn't really know what to do. We had a bunch of new, fresh rookies, bro. I mean, they fresh, new out the academy, my nigga. I'm talking about like first day, second day on the academy. Yeah. And I ain't know none of their names. All right, cool. So, cool. It's early too, though. So we get on the street, and I hear a call come out. I remember the location. It was like, hey, what's the name of the street? You know what the street, bro?
It wasn't Moser.
Nah.
It was Calhoun.
Let's say Calhoun. Yeah, it was Calhoun.
It was Calhoun.
I think the 1300 block at Calhoun. Came out for a call, and the call read
15. It was actually 1500 block.
15, 13.
Yeah.
The call read, it's.
And our second sponsor is Cameo Elite Escort Services. When it comes to transportation, ordinary just isn't enough. That's why we created Cameo Elite Escort Services, where professionalism meets luxury. Whether it's an executive meeting, a wedding, a funeral, a date night, or a special event, we provide more than just a ride. We deliver an experience. Our fleet of luxury Sprinter vans and executive vehicles are perfect for corporate clients, VIP guests, or anyone looking for comfort, style, and peace of mind. We also offer executive protection services for clients who require that extra level of security and discretion. So no matter the occasion, from private events to professional engagements, trust Cameo Elite Escort Services to get you there safely, comfortably, and on time. Cameo Elite Escort Services, driven by excellence and defined by class.
Says, anonymous caller could hear a lady in the background tussling with a person, but she didn't want to have a call back. All right, cool. I hear it comes out, right? I'm like, I'm driving. I'm going down Gilmore.
Yeah.
Bro, something in my spirit told me, bro, go to the call and make sure they operate the call correctly. Could anybody know what policing? Domestic can go any way, right? So that happened. So I get there. So we get there. I pulls up and another officer pulls up. Young guy, bro. I forgot his name was. Good guy. So we get to the call. We walk up to the door. And we can hear the commotion inside. Can't see, but you can hear like a tussling And the lady asked him, help, help. So I tell the young boy, I say, yo, kick that door down. So he kicks it in. Boom. And all you really see, a white shirt and nigga black as a motherfucker. Haul ass upstairs. You can't see where he went. You know he went upstairs. And the house was like a 2-story house. It wasn't really that big. So she comes out. She had on like MTA clothes. In the case she worked for MTA. All right. I knew the house. I knew the officer was like a previous cop. I knew he was a cop. I knew of him. Didn't know him personally. I seen him before. So I knew he was like a cop. I knew he was in some units. I knew he was like a good shooter. So he comes out. She comes out. And you can see she was like distrustful. She had like scars on her face. So I tells him, anybody know when you dealing with police and you got a domestic, the first thing you do is what?
Gun.
Separate them.
Yeah. Okay.
Separate them to hear the stories.
Okay.
So I had him take her downstairs, take her down the steps. So he take her down the steps, outside, in front of the house. It had a gate, right? It was a row home, a bunch of row homes, new row homes though. So I step inside. He talking to her. I can see him. I'm talking to him. Unknown guy at the time. We're gonna leave him unknown.
Was he upset? So you could see him from upstairs?
I'm sorry. So I can hear him.
Yeah.
I can't see him. Cause it's like the steps go up and probably the front room is probably over top of me, right? At the time he said he had a 2-year-old son in the house. I can't really see him, but I can hear him. So we having a conversation, right? Seemed like I was talking forever. And in that time, you don't really know what to say, but you want to calm him down if he is hype, because I don't know if he's hype or not. So I'm talking to him, I'm like, what's going on, King? We can figure it out. He like, call my sergeant. I got my, she's not taking my son, something, right? I said, okay, King, what's your sergeant number and name? I'll call him. And to get quiet for like, I want to say 5 minutes.
Hey.
All you hear is a gunshot. Boom, boom. And anybody who been in the shooting, you think they're shooting at you. Everything is towards you. Everything. So I look back, and all you see, the young lady, she collapsed backwards. She falls back. I mean, and the officer was so close to her. She was like right in his face, bro. Like right in his face. So me talking about it now, I can see it. So he was like right in his face. So she fell back. Remember, he's brand new. So he froze. So I run back onto the porch. I tell the young boy, I said, yo, take off. I said, take off. He runs up the block. So the doors behind me, they had a porch. I don't know why. I'm on top of the porch, on like the railing. I don't know why I'm on that, because I don't know if he's going to come back down. And I don't want my back to be towards where he is. Right? Cool. Then you hear a couple more shots. Boom, boom, boom. So I start running. Then you hear some more shots. Of course, I'm thinking he's shooting at me. Cool. I'm all going to think that. But come to find out, he wasn't shooting at us. He was shooting at her to finish her off. Now, whatever transpired between them two, I'm not sure. So this whole situation lasted all day. So I'm new. So I get on the radio. I start making my proper notifications.
You new to OIC?
I'm new to OIC, and I'm new to the guys, right? So this is at the time where I'm getting on the radio, shots fired, and they think I'm shot. So when they get there, I'm like, no, I'm not shot. The victim got shot. The suspect's still in the house. So at this time, it turns into a barricade. So he barricaded himself in the house with his son, I want to say in the top of the room, right? So remember, he's police, right?
SWAT.
SWAT?
Yeah.
Okay,
You gotta
SWAT.
remember, he was in SWAT.
SWAT. And he also was
He was a sniper.
Yeah, in the military.
He was in the military.
Yeah.
He was in SWAT.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
also was on the motorcade unit.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I know him. He was in a different unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark skin. Dude looked like.
Yeah.
No, and it's serious.
Who look like?
Remember the guy on Boys in the Hood that said, "I don't like my gums because they black."
No, that's not Boys in the Hood. You talking about Eddie Murphy? I mean, no. I'm talking about Bernie Mac.
That was Bernie Mac that said that? No. The police officer that was on Boys in the Hood that got Cuba Gooding Jr. all worked up.
Okay.
And he said he don't like these gums because they black.
Gotcha.
But this is how the guy looked with a shaved head. He was bald head.
He was dark, bro. He was
Yeah,
dark.
dark skin.
And when you go into a call like that, bro, you never expect that to happen, bro. When you have a domestic violence that can turn left at any given time. So I get there, and then everybody know when police go to a scene, they rush to the scene. So at the time, it became a barricade. So we proceeded to station down further out of the hot zone. Hot zone is where you have access to get shot at, right? So we went to the cold zone when the people can't. Well, you're blocked by the trees, houses, and things like that. So more officers came down there. I forgot my guy's name. What's my guy's name? Be like, what's up, cat? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, my man Sarge.
Sarge. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
came down there. So I'm like, man, you gotta get out of there. He got out of there because he came with the bunker and everything. So we proceeded to stay at the bottom, and then the officers, man, by the being so young, they were so shook. He was so shook. And he was a Caucasian man, right? White guy, right? Don't know his background, but he was shook. And for me, this is the defining moment that I knew that I could be a sergeant, right? Because being able to deal with and be under pressure, but still be focused, right?
Mhm.
Still be able to be alert, still give direction, not be as affected. But I was affected because we sat there and we saw a woman lose her life right in front of us, bro.
Couldn't do
I
nothing
mean, well,
about it.
I think I don't even think he opened the window. I think he made her move the curtains, hit her from the second floor, headshots, boom, boom. She collapsed. She done. And I think she was still alive a little bit. And one of the most important things is like in policing is our job. We want to make sure we save as many people as we can. And the fact that we wasn't able to being given a situation and we don't know the state of the mind of the shooter, and you don't want to push yourself in harm's way too much to save her, which is one of the hardest things because I felt like you started questioning what you could have done differently. But that would be almost like predicting the future. But we can't. So who knows? Who knew that he would have shot her from the window, not even open it,
Yeah, because the
and shot her?
conversation that y'all had didn't even
Didn't even allude to that. You know what I'm saying?
allude to
Kind
him.
of
Yeah,
similar to yours, where you're just having a cordial conversation. You don't even know what's gonna
and
go
it just
left.
happened. Yep,
Life happened that fast, right? And we both know in policing, shit can go from 0 to 100 real
real
quick.
quick.
You just gotta be able to deal with what comes forward. You know what I mean? So yeah, that shit was crazy. So it was a standoff for a long time, for several hours, bro. And eventually he decided he turned himself in. But the problem with that is too, though, the police gotta do a better job with is, bro, they ask you a million questions in the midst of dealing with tragedy. Bro, you gotta give me a moment. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can't even recollect what happened. Because we human. And that was the first time I ever experienced anything like that fast. Because you hear the stories in the academy, they tell you all about it. But to experience it in real time is different between what you would do, what you said you could do, and what you actually did.
Right,
So,
right.
but that was one of the defining moments that I knew that I could be a supervisor. And one of the toughest moments to navigate dealing with the young ones that never experienced that, especially being all Caucasian.
Yeah.
So that was
So
the
I mean, the end result to this guy, he wound up getting arrested and he going to jail. He wound up killing himself in jail.
yo. Here's the crazy about him about that. He did like a year later. I think it was like
Yep.
maybe like a year later
Yeah.
on my birthday.
Ooh.
Yeah, on my birthday. So I got the call, and I was out of work for a little while, man. Just trying to get myself back, cause we all think that we good, but I was a little fucked up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was like stuck. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to feel, and I was stuck. And we had a conversation before. I went to therapy, and one of the things about therapy is find somebody that feels relatable. Bro, the guy was like so dry. I stopped going to that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
What
get
the
out
thing
of here.
about it is people worry about the physical. So
Yeah,
it was somebody that I've been is I mean, and I won't mention names because it's still active, but just recently an officer got shot, and the officer returned back to work. You know, he was physically harmed, but he returned back to work. And I think one of the officers that experienced it got into a gun battle with
right,
him was out of work for some time, and it was like the people was like, "Yo, how could he be out of work longer than the officer that
right,
took the bullet?"
right,
And I'm
right.
like, "Nah, you can't say that
Yeah,
because the thing about it is that experience
yeah,
is it weighs down on so many people.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like as far as I was the officer that was shot.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But I returned back to work so fast because I was more so worried about possibly being fired
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
being home for so long.
Right.
So you never know. And then I started dealing with my experiences later down the road. It started affecting me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
That's the
saying?
thing
So
about trauma. Like, not to cut you off, bro. That's the thing about trauma is they never know when it's gonna hit you. It could be a moment you're having a beautiful day, bro, and something triggers. Right? You may not experience it at this given time. Like even sometimes for me, it takes me a little minute to process things. You know, even with death, it takes me a little minute to process it. But it hits me as time moves on. You know what I mean? So everybody deal with, trauma differently. You know what I mean? So some people some people put it in, in the back of their minds and they come back and haunt them. Right? That's why it's best to deal with it, not run from it.
right.
Right. So that was that, bro. That was a tough situation. Yeah, he kept telling my birthday. I got the call. I don't know why they called and told me, but it's like, yeah, he hung himself. I was like, damn, bro, my birthday. You want
On
to
your
tell me that?
birthday.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, damn, bro, you want to tell
That's
me that shit,
crazy.
bro? On my birthday?
People don't understand how it
Yeah, like,
affects you.
come
Yeah.
on, man. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
I was in the process of healing, you done just took me back 10
Yeah.
steps. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
On your
saying?
birthday.
On my birthday, August
Yeah.
the 5th. Boom. Hug yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, I think for some of us, man, we use trauma and people use healing mechanisms like laughing it off or laughter or jokes. But that's how they deal with their trauma. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
This episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Cameo Consulting Company, a security agency and private detective agency within the state of Maryland and Washington, D.C., where our goal is to provide outstanding services, protection for our clients, and we are determined to build and establish a relationship within the community and businesses in need of our services. We are also MBE, DBE, and SBE certified through the state of Maryland and the city of Baltimore. The services we provide are body and guard and asset protection, executive protection, funeral details, patrol services and event security, private investigation, and surveillance. We look forward to providing you with our outstanding services and making your needs our priority. The Instagram is Cameo Consultant Co. Facebook, Cameo Consultant Company. Website is www.cameoconsultantco.com. And the phone number to reach us is 443-415-9636.
Well,
and
I
that was that,
appreciate,
bro. That
man.
was that,
Listen,
bro. You
I
know what
appreciate
I'm
you
saying?
only.
Yeah.
Shout out, to you
Shout
for
out to me, baby.
understanding,
Yeah.
what it was like to take place. And I think a few years later, you took the sergeant test and
Yeah.
became a sergeant.
For sure. For sure.
But it's crazy
Talk about it.
that during the time you went through the sergeant
Well, you
process
doing good. Go
and you
ahead.
took the sergeant test,
Yeah.
what transpired during that situation
That's a very good
while
question.
waiting to be promoted?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably one of the best things that happened in my life.
Mm,
Yeah, bro. Sometimes tragedy could be one of the best experiences you ever had,
mm,
right? Depending on what it is, right? Because I don't believe God make any mistakes,
right.
right? So during that time frame, bro, we used to go down to YMCA and play basketball. Routine night. I go down there, and at this
On
time,
Fridays.
at Fridays, right? At this time, I was in the Southeast District, midnight shift, waiting to get promoted. And
What we did before then, though.
no,
Okay.
I was before I was playing basketball.
Okay. No, I'm saying before y'all went to the Y that night, me and you had an intense workout
Oh, yep.
at
Okay.
Montebello
Okay, cool.
earlier
Man,
that
I
day.
forgot about that. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. This was yeah. Okay, cool. We went to Montebello, and then after that, went down to the Y and played basketball. We played the hella games, and and for the most part, man, I always been pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't really had no significant injuries outside being with you with the knee joint. You know what I'm saying? In the bad boys foot chase. You know what I mean? You went in there like Mike Larry. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So at this time routine, I go home, drive home. I'm normal. I'm working 11 to 7. I get in the house, bro, and I'm just like, yo, I don't feel right. But I'm sweating hard as shit, and I stopped hooping almost like an hour ago. And it was an unusual uncomfortability in my chest, right? So I'm sitting on this test. I'm talking to the wife. I'm like, I don't feel good, yo. Something ain't right. She like, you seem different. Like you seem like, I guess like pale. You just don't seem your normal self. You're sweating like hard. And I was like, pause. She's like, you should go to the hospital. Normally I'd be like, nah, I'm good. So I go downstairs. She washed my ass up and shit. You know what I mean? And then we drive to GBMC. Drive to GBMC. So I get in there. So they treated me like I had heartburn, and I'm at the time I'm dehydrated. Dehydrated. So it's hard for them to get my veins because I ain't got no liquid inside me. Um, so I'm sitting in the lobby. They give me all this medication and I mean all the stuff. They checking whatever. Cool. They was able to finally get blood. And I'm sitting in the lobby for like 2 hours, bro. They come back like, bro, you having a heart attack. We need to get you in like surgery right now. So they transported me to um St. Joseph's, St. Joseph's Hospital, and then they proceeded to have me to have surgery. They went through my arteries, my vein, one of my main veins, and they
Through
put
your leg?
no, they went through my groin, and they had surgery. They put the stents in me. I got 3 stents. I had a plaque buildup. So what happens is when you have a heart attack, it's a blockage, right? It's a blockage. The blood flow is not flowing through the veins how it should be. It's like a pipe. The blood is not flowing through the veins how it should be. It's backed up by something. Something is blocking it. It's not sending. It's not sending. Blood through your veins. And what happens is your mind sees your body like, yo, that part of your body, that part of your heart stop perceiving oxygen, right? And would cause like dead cells, and they had to put a stent in there to open it back up to ensure blood flow consistently to your heart. So that's what they did. They put 3 of them in me, and bro, I was just like, see what people.
Pause.
Well, man, shut up. I'm telling the story, man. Man,
They
take
put
focus.
3 of them. All right, no, we talking about the stats. Go ahead, Chuck.
You, bro.
Yeah.
So real talk though. That was one of the hardest things I had to endure because then, I'll shout out to my guy, man. I know he, whatever he is. Yo, Fad thought I was joking. So he was just like, man, you joking. You just don't want to come to work. Like, so Big Nelson was like, yo, Twan ain't gonna lie about nothing like that, bro. Like, come on, man.
So
So
this is after your surgery.
no, this is
when you was feeling
doing a process of it that night, like doing a process. And I had called him, you know what I'm saying? Because he was, at SIC. And he thought I was lying and shit about that. Who lies about heart attack to go to the hospital?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just to get out of work. That's crazy. So Big Nelson was like, nah, bro, he would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, my guy, you better than that. And that shit fucked me up. So he comes to the hospital too, though.
You weren't feeling?
Nah, boss. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Me and the wife and then she come to the hospital. I'm like, bro, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even no rap for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was apologetic and all that. But at that point, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? It's too late, bro.
When
You know
you're
what I'm saying? It's too
experiencing
late.
something like that,
Yeah, like
somebody think you fucking lying.
think you lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Anywho, so that was one of the toughest situations for me as a person because you start questioning things, bro. And I questioned God. You know what I'm saying? I did, bro, because we think that we are invincible, things can't happen to us. We think that I'm a good person, I don't do this, I don't do that, don't do that.
You don't drink like that.
Why
you don't
me?
smoke.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I had to bring myself back in. Why not me? Like what makes you think that you're different than anybody else? That this can't happen to you. And it end up being the best blessing that ever happened to me because in that moment, it was like a switch that switched in my mind. And I no longer operated from fear, and one of the reasons why I was able to leave the job. You know what I mean? So my road to recovery was like I was out for like 8 months. And during that time though, man, some people came to see me. My guy came, you know what I'm saying? Nigga bought me a Subway sub.
Hey, those Subway
you know what I'm
was
saying?
crazy.
I'm gonna tell you,
double meat was crazy.
What?
Yeah, nah.
Go ahead.
Listen, he was like, man, I was like, what you wanted to eat? Because I found out the next day.
Yeah.
And when I called you and the wife was like, Los, Swan just had surgery. He in the hospital, he had a heart attack last night. I'm like, what? So I rushed up to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And then once I got, saw that you was all good, I was sick, man. But when I saw you was laying there, you was good. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I went downstairs. They had a
So we,
Subway.
yep, yep,
And I was like, yo, you want something to eat? And you was like, yeah. You was like, give me a cold cut with double meat. Like, cold cut, double meat? You like, yeah. Yo, you should try it.
yeah.
Man, I got both of us a cold cut,
Yo, listen,
double
bro.
meat.
Shit crazy.
Pause.
Yeah.
It was
Hit,
phenomenal.
yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. But no, that was one of the most important times that you came down there. And it's like it was you, me, of course me, the wife, and then my son. Son sitting on the bed. You right here. I got the picture. Hopefully, we probably put it. Whatever. You sit on your phone, chilling. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We
yeah.
just in there, bitch, vibing. And it was one of the most pivotal times of my life because at that time, bro, was a blessing in disguise because not only I had a heart attack, I had got promoted that year.
I remember you got promoted.
I got married that year. It
Mhm.
was so much that happened in that 1 year that ended up being a phenomenal, phenomenal
And
time.
that was what, 2013?
Nah, I was
I mean,
17.
2017?
17, bro. You know, where everything transpired for me. And I was so grateful and I was so blessed. But I did question God. And that was one of the reasons what made me lose the job. I felt like I was meant for something greater. And I came back 100%, even better. And then I just didn't feel the same no more. I started looking at life in a different perspective, like I'm meant for something else. The police job was great, bro. I loved it, but it wasn't my purpose,
Mm-hmm.
right? It wasn't my destiny. It was like, God gave me a different outlook on life. And for some people, the decision leading the job would have been hard, but for me, it wasn't really hard. It was like, that's what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to work one day. This is years later. Went to work. Me and Reed working. It's like it was like a Monday, no Wednesday. I told Reed, I was like, bro, they my last day. He was like, for real?
My man
Yeah,
Kareem.
yeah. They my last day. It's like, for real? Yeah. So I went in the office. I packed all my shit, put my shit in my car, and I ain't come back ever since.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So the most important thing that we speak about tragedy is that you're like I said on the last part, you're not defined by that. And if you ever have a moment when you do question God, it's okay, you're human, right? Your relationship with God is yours. And whatever y'all talk about, right? But everything's have the purpose. Your life has a meaning. You just gotta figure out what you're designed to do. So for me, it was about figuring out my highest purpose, and I'm still on the path of it. But I knew that God had something planned for me, and a heart attack was probably one of the most important things that changed my life because I started the company, and I did a lot of other things. So we turned the tragedy into triumph. That's how we came up with LO13 Fitness,
That's
right?
dope. That's dope.
Yeah, that's how we came up with that.
And it's crazy because again, Antoine is he was a workhorse in that gym,
Yeah,
and a lot of people were surprised to
yo,
hear that
yeah,
he was the one that had the heart attack
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
he was so healthy.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I said earlier that day, he was like, "Yo, meet me at Montebello Lake." We ran around Montebello Lake and did a workout.
yeah,
He had a workout that we
yeah,
did right
yeah.
then and there.
And we
So,
hoop,
and yep,
and we
you
hoop,
know what I mean.
and we
So
hoop. You know what I'm saying?
it was just so much going on, and
Yeah.
sometimes your body is telling you certain things, even mentally, and you just don't get it until it's time. It
Mhm.
shuts you down.
Well,
You know
that
what I mean.
too,
And
though.
sometimes that time it allows you to reflect. So that
Yeah,
time that you
yeah,
had when you was down and
yeah.
out, it gave you
And
time
that,
to
and
reflect on
honestly, though,
what's
two
important.
things. That time, that 8 months I was out, I had an amazing time, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was able to fully live and get myself back because that was the point in time when I lost myself.
Mhm.
Because when you used to being a lion for so much, and the lion get hit by something, you feel like, how do I get that fight back in? Because I lost it. You know what I'm saying? So I hired a trainer. She was a female, but she was phenomenal. Now I didn't really need her to train me. I needed that to install that
That push.
that like, you incredible, bro. You got it. Then the third and back into me. And one of the things I say is that with the heart attack situation, bro, maybe missed my train of thought. I had it. You were saying, oh, um, he made me miss my train of thought, bro. He made me drop my train of thought. I forgot what it was. But moral of the story is the heart attack was the best thing to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was gonna say was we think that just because a person's healthy doesn't mean that something can't happen to you because we've been seeing it so many different times. Rather you're young or old, See, people
Internally.
thought like how you had a heart attack and you so young. But who said that you can't? Everything's based off of DNA, right? So when I was in the rehab center, which is phenomenal at St. Joseph's, I was the youngest person in there. They couldn't understand why I was in there. But even to this day, I'm good now. Still take medication, but
Every day.
every day. And but I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? So we still moving.
Still moving.
God's good.
God is good.
For
But
sure.
listen,
For sure.
man, I'm happy you was able to share that
Yeah.
and get that up
yeah.
off your chest.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm
for sure,
saying?
For
And,
sure.
and you know, man, I'm happy you here.
My
You know
God.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy you
love,
still here talking to us.
love,
You
love.
know what I mean? I love you,
Yeah,
champ.
love you too, King.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that I want people to understand this podcast from these last 2 episodes. It's truly about adversity.
Adversity.
And how do you overcome adversity?
Absolutely.
When life hits you, but you got hit back.
Yep.
Right. So once again, it's not how what life do to you, it's what you do back and how you perform or what decisions you make after something happens to you. That's what matters. Right. So don't
Absolutely.
get stuck in a place and don't allow tragedy to suck you into a sunken place that you can't move.
Yeah.
Nah. Take that and make the adjustments.
Yeah.
With that being said, we appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Last but not least,
Yeah.
shout out to OKC.
Come on, man.
They won the championship in
Yeah.
Game 7. It was hard to watch because
yeah.
Halliburton went down
Unfortunately.
first quarter
Yeah, bro.
to his Achilles.
Yeah,
And
man.
we saw it happen with
Yo,
Tatum this year.
And that's so funny you say that. Speaking like that, you know what I'm saying? He had a tragic situation. Let's see what he do, how he come back from
Let's
that.
see how he come back. Even
Let's see-
both of them,
Let's see how he
Tatum
come
and
back from
Halliburton.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's see how he come back from
yeah.
that.
Shout out to them,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Pray for their recovery.
Absolutely.
But listen, we appreciate y'all
For
checking
sure.
in. We want y'all to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
One more time.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And listen, make sure y'all put something in the comments.
Come on, man.
What I asked y'all earlier, man, tell me what y'all think about that.
Yeah.
You know, lock in with us. Make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all hit that subscribe button.
Hit the
That's
subscribe button, baby.
Make sure
double
y'all hit
tap it. Watch the pod, man.
Watch the pod. Tell us
Watch
what y'all
the pod.
think.